Yo, yo, welcome to Let's Play Skyrim here at Trippy Commentaries. Thank you guys for joining us for the playthrough. In the last episode, we trekked across the Great White North of Skyrim to make it to the iconic city of Solitude. I'm RJ, joining up with Mike.
What's happening, everyone?
The problem with this, Mike, is that the city is all the way on top of this natural bridge, which means we still have a little bit of ways to go, but there's some cool things to see before we actually make it to one of the largest cities here in Skyrim. You have this dock area, a pretty large boat. In fact, that might even be one of the biggest boats in the game. That's a pretty big ship. And behind there you can see that large doorway. That leads to a whole nother area. We'll definitely be heading down there for a mini mission that we can find up in Solitude. Do you remember anything about this map, Mike? This is the home to the Imperials. In fact, one thing I've been meaning to ask you, in your playthrough, who did you join up with, the Imperials or the Stormcloaks?
I actually joined up with both. I finished the game with the Imperials.
Okay.
So I did not finish with the Stormcloaks. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and wow, I love these graphics. This is great. I love Skyrim. This game's amazing.
Glitch action over there. Look at that windmill. Yeah, you're right, man. This game really does look fantastic. We've been playing a lot on the Xbox One as of late, but this does hold up, and I'm sure I've said it already in the playthrough. To this day, this is what I consider to be the best game of all time, despite its faults. It has some pretty obvious glitches. I actually like to take advantage of some of the glitches. But I just love it. The soundtrack, the gameplay,
Yes.
the customization.
Yes.
I can go on and on. Here's our character, Darth Trippy. He has this new golden armor, which is elven armor, Mike.
Looks pretty badass.
It is, and we still have to upgrade it even more. I can't wait till we level up. Hopefully that happens soon enough. We do have to get some pretty key perks to help us upgrade the armor even more. But let's make our way up to Solitude.
Yes.
So you said you did eventually join up with the Imperials. They are based right here out of Solitude.
Yeah.
And another mysterious group here in Skyrim is a group called the Thalmor. They're elves. Really don't seem to be trustworthy. We will come across a Thalmor in Winterhold. In fact, we already did see him there at the college, but he'll be more involved in the storyline, so we'll definitely have to see if we can trust these Thalmor. Right now, of course, the jury is out. This is a pretty memorable scene that will happen right as we walk through the gate into Solitude.
Yes.
Let's see what happens. Solitude discovered. What is going on over here?
Position.
Oh man, Sorex. Who's Sorex? Which one of you said get on with it? Oh. Alright, here's the douchebag of the bunch. Is it possible for us to stop the pretty much, yeah, I think we know it's an inevitable beheading?
Yes. I don't know. Not looking so good at this point.
I feel bad for him. Apparently the storyline with this guy is that when Ulfric Stormcloak murdered the High King Torrig, this guy right here let Ulfric leave. And apparently, I guess because he killed the High King valiantly, or whatever you want to call it, it was shameful for him not to let Ulfric go, but because of it,
He's sentenced
he's losing his
to
life.
death. Oh,
And there
boy.
he goes. There's his head.
Pretty graphic.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we could at least maybe grab his head and do a proper burial.
Yeah, I agree. He does need.
He deserves more.
Yes.
And
There you go.
and it's kind of stuck. All right, let's get on the stage here. Take the stairs. In fact, before we do grab the head of Rogver, let's talk to Attar. Let's see if he feels guilty about what he did.
I have a little problem you can solve.
Okay. So there you have it. That's the Decapitator. We now can pick up the head of Rogver, which is surprisingly heavy. I'm thinking I could pick it up, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Lucky for us, there is some stairs here, so we can drag the head all the way down and try to find something good to take. In fact, here's his body. Let's take his amulet of Talus. He won't be needing it anymore.
No.
And it's funny enough because the body is much lighter.
We'll just give him a burial, his headless body, a burial.
We'll come back for the head, Mike.
Yeah.
We can't just leave his head just lying about. Let's see if we can find a good spot for his body. Like I mentioned, this is one of the most beautiful cities as far as architecture is concerned. And there's a lot of interesting areas that we can leave him. Here we have looks like a little fixture of rocks and some shrubbery.
Yes.
In honor of this beheaded man. Let's leave him right in the middle for everyone to see. I know in a matter of days... Oh.
Yeah.
The guard already noticed. In a matter of days, maybe even hours, let's face it, he might start to smell pretty badly.
Yes. I can imagine in that spot there, the whole town is going to definitely think something's rotten there. But
yes, rotten is right. Well, we'll see how long it takes. I'm not too sure if you exit the city and then come back maybe a day later, if the body will still be there. It'll be kind of funny if it is. But here's his head, Mike. I'll tell you what. I think the best thing we should do is put it in the corner over here. We have some wood, and maybe it'll go unnoticed for a while. And we'll make sure to line up his eyesight so that way he is staring into Solitude, looking at all of the citizens that just let him get decapitated. Wow.
Like a bowling ball.
It's rolling around quite a bit, isn't it?
Oh, and, well...
Perhaps, I think we should maybe try to freeze it, much like the great Walt Disney. Many say he is right now frozen. Maybe if we freeze his head, it'll last a little bit longer.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's worth a try. Maybe we should try an electrical maneuver to jolt him back to life. The problem is he's just a head.
Maybe try that on the body.
We need a robotic body. We'll keep an eye out for that. We will be heading into some areas with robots, believe it or not. In fact, I think we already showed one off in this playthrough. It's hard to remember. But nonetheless, maybe we can find the body of a robot, put the head on top. It's worth a try.
Yeah, why not?
Here we have a blacksmith. It's definitely good to know all the blacksmiths around Skyrim, because I'm constantly grinding that ability. You want to make sure to get the best armor possible.
Yes.
And this guy does make armor for the Imperials. We have still yet to decide, Mikey, if we're going to join the Stormcloaks or the Imperials. I know you seem to be on board with the Stormcloaks because they're kind of the rebels. Justin also joining up for the playthrough. He'll be in the next episode. I know he really wants to recover the horn of Jurgen Wingcaller. One of the most important missions in the game, so we need his intel for that one. We'll be heading into dangerous territory.
Yeah.
But getting back to the blacksmiths, it's important to know all of the blacksmiths around. Some of them send you on missions, which can help you out. Definitely, you want to grind up the blacksmithing ability as much as possible. And he is on the side of the Imperials, probably because he's in their hometown. Seems to be obvious. The Imperials have set up shop here. In fact, let's go ahead and enter Castle Dower. This is the home to the Imperials and their leader, General Tullius. This guy seems to be a bit of a prick. I guess you put up with him in your playthrough, Mikey?
Yeah, you got to put up with him. You got to sort of do what he says, you know, help him out with whatever he's crying about. But
where is he? Aha, here he is, General Tullius in the flesh. Let's see what he has to say. Let's lead him to believe that we might want to join up with the Imperials. Now, we did meet him at Helgen, where he had us pretty much left to be beheaded, much
Yes.
like the guy earlier in this episode. Should we tell him that we've already met? Let's just say we were at Helgen and see if he remembers us.
yes.
Right, Helgen. One of the prisoners, if I
Uh-oh. He does remember us. I was set free. I could have gone anywhere. That's a good point by Lord Trippy.
Fine. Why
Or
don't you
actually,
have a chat
Darth
with
Trippy,
the
I'm sorry.
I suspect we might have use for someone resourceful like you. Not many survived Helgen. Besides, I'm sure your being imprisoned was all a terrible misunderstanding.
Okay, so he actually understands that it was a misunderstanding.
You'd be
Interesting.
insane to try.
So maybe I'm taking General Tullius wrong. You
Yeah.
gotta admit.
He said he's interested in our skill set because we survived
Wow.
that situation.
This is
So-
changing my mind a little bit here, Mikey. The Imperials don't seem too bad after all. We'll have to think about it more, guys. Please leave in the comments who you think we should join. We are torn. The Stormcloaks seem to be the rebels, but one gripe I have is Ulfric Stormcloak.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. He seems a little bit into himself. He has a bit of a messiah complex. General Tullius had us, I mean, he was going to behead us. So I'm not quick to join him, but there, even though we were honest, he could have pretty much detained us right there and had us decapitated for real that time without a dragon interrupting. He decided to let us go and let us know that perhaps our services are needed of the Imperials. We'll do some research, figure out who's the correct members to join. You do have a church back here. This is the Temple of the Divines. This is a cool one because this is a temple that has, I believe, a statue for every single one of the gods here in Skyrim. I'm not sure if they're all technically gods. One is a Thalos, so he's not really a god. He was a human. Actually, I think he was a Nord. But here are all of the statues. I always thought it was mysterious that the one in the middle is missing. Perhaps we should talk to somebody and maybe they can give us some intel on that. I don't see anybody around. Ah, here's somebody.
Feel free to take a seat or papers where is per diem.
Okay.
Please, feel
See if
free
she
to
knows
take
anything
a
about the
seat
one in
or
the
all
middle.
of
The
the
Shrine of
That is the Shrine
Talos.
Yes.
But
Now, the
also
reason why they
stand by
can't
the White Wolf
do the Shrine of Talos is because the Imperials are banning Talos as a god. So you could still find some statues around Skyrim because many people still believe that he is a god. It's an interesting subject, and somewhere so prominent right here in the biggest city in all of Skyrim, that's somewhere where they have to take it down.
Yep.
By order, I believe, of the Imperials. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've played that into the storyline, or at least looked into it. Do you remember that whole thing where you have Talos, the Nords treat this guy like a god, but he's not a god to any of the other ethnic groups, I guess we can call them, the other classes here in Skyrim. It's a really mature subject matter for the game, and it's one of the reasons why this game is so cool, because there's so many little mini storylines. Cool how they just completely banned statues all around Skyrim, but you can still find them here and there. They're just in secluded areas.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and make our way to this palace. This is another area we need to check out. This is the site of the murder of the High King, Ulfric Stormcloak. the leader of the Stormcloaks, the guy I said I'm not a huge fan of. He came to the Blue Palace and murdered the High King Torg. Very interesting, and it's something we definitely need to keep an eye on as far as the storyline, because it may directly lead to our decision on which side we should join up. What we're going to do now, Mike, is go meet up with the wife of King Torg. See what she has to say about this in our tour of Solitude. We're trying to look at all the main areas. There's also a Bard's College. We won't look at that quite yet because we will join that up. So we'll save that for an upcoming episode. But here she is. This is Jarl Elisif the Fair. She took over for her husband. Or late husband.
Then we will immediately send out a legion to scour the cave and secure the town. Hafingar's people will always be safe under my rule.
Now these guys are worried about something that's going on around their region of Skyrim.
Perhaps a more tempered reaction might be called for.
Oh, yes, of course, you were right. Falk, tell Captain...
This is a pretty cool looking area of Solitude, Mike. In fact, this is one of my favorite Thane locations in the game, or Jarl locations, I should say. A lot of detailing, and there's some pretty cool rooms that will come across that lead to some epic rewards. So, what's going on at the Wolf Skull Cave? They're trying to resurrect a demon, and people are pretty scared about it around here. What do you think, Mike? Should we be the ones to stop this ritual from happening?
Well, I don't think we should stop the ritual from happening. I think we should let it go.
Really?
It happens.
Well, we are going to have to check out the location because there's probably going to be some good rewards there. Maybe we let the ritual go, try to steal their rewards anyways. We'll figure it out. But for now, we will look into it. Let's ask why it's called Wolf Skull Cave.
Has a bad history. Long ago,
Patema the Wolf Queen.
Necromantic
Okay,
rituals.
I'm starting to think you want the ritual to continue because you don't want to fuck with Patema the Wolf Queen. She sounds not to be trifled with.
Exactly. You don't want to fuck with that.
Ah, I see. You are a smart man, Mike. We'll see if we have a choice. I'm worried that if we go check out the area, they'll notice us and try to kill us.
Well, it's usually the case.
General Tullius, of course, the leader of the Imperials that we talked to. It's interesting to see if he respects Elisif, the wife of the former High King.
maybe you've been listening to Erica.
A lot of rumors going on around here.
Some of the veins. I suspect he's the cause.
Ah, see, this is another reason to believe the Imperials are not to be trusted.
She may be young, but Elisif is the Jarl by right. But here in Skyrim, if nothing else, we respect the traditions.
This Falk Firebeard guy is very knowledgeable. Someone we'll have to talk to quite a bit. And maybe another reason why we will want to take out this mission for him. And we'll definitely go explore Wolf Skull Cave. I'm sure there's going to be something to see there, Mikey. But there's still a lot to do before that. We need to recover the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. If you sneak up here, we can go into the living quarters, and I believe there might be some stuff we want to steal. Mike, did you ever do some thievery in your Skyrim playthroughs?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't go through this game without stealing something. I mean, you sort of have to.
It's
if
necessary.
you don't, you're just you have too good of a heart.
I would put it like this: you are a pussy. You must steal everything you can if possible, but be careful. Make sure not to be seen. It's not
Don't
cool
get
getting
caught.
thrown in the prisons here in Skyrim.
No.
And that's pretty much it. There is still a lot more to see in Solitude, guys. We have a lot more to show off. and it's one of the funnest cities to explore. There's a pretty cool Hall of Dead, some haunted stuff going on here in the city. The Thalmor presence is right here in Solitude as well. We'll try to break into their facility. I'm sure they have a hideout, and they don't want a warrior like us. In fact, we are the Dragonborn. We're capable of stopping them. If they are indeed evil, we will figure out once and for all here in the playthrough. A lot more to go. It was cool stopping by Solitude, but to be honest with you guys, there's a lot more we need to get accomplished before we continue on with some of the stuff going on here in the city. So in the next episode, we will move forth towards recovering the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. We need to get that, bring it back to High Hrothgar, and then we will actually get to meet the final member of the Greybeards. I'm curious about this Mike. He lives on top of the Throat of the World, the highest mountain in Skyrim. Who the hell could possibly live way up there?
I don't know. It's sort of ridiculous. I mean, I guess we got to find out and see what that's all about.
Is it a human or perhaps something else? Stay tuned here at Trippy Commentary, guys. Thanks for joining the playthrough. And more importantly, as always, stay trippy, guys.
Hello, General Tullius.